We've had a good run of form since our last episode, and we are on the threshold of that playoff position. Are we going to be able to make it to the other side, or will we still be on the outside looking in? Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 8 of the return of TSV 1860 Munich. And as you can see from our schedule, we had a pretty decent run of form following our last episode and our 4-1 home victory over SV Elversberg. We continued it with our first road victory since January the 14th, so it had been 2 months. We picked up a 4-1 win against Erzgebirge. God, I love saying that. Raphael Holzhauer got the scoring score started in the 16th minute. Maximilian Thiel tied it up in the 29th, and that is where we were off to the races in the second half. Finn Lachenmacher scoring twice in the 48th and 59th minutes, and Maris Skenderovic added one in the 77th minute to give us, again, that very nice, comfortable 4-1 victory. Then we returned home against Dortmund 2. Not as comfortable as before. We picked up a 1-0 victory. That came in the 90th minute, actually the 93rd minute, the third minute of added time. Finn Lachenmacher picking up yet another goal, which gave him 6 in 3 to give us our third consecutive victory. And then we met Ingolstadt on the road, and it was 0-0 for the absolute longest time, as you can see up there in the upper left-hand corner. In the 6th minute of added time, literally at the very, very end of the game, we got called for a penalty. David Kopacz converted on it, and we ended up losing 1-0, which ended our 3-match win streak. So where do we stand now? Pretty much where we were before. Currently sitting in 4th place. That loss actually knocked us out of the playoff spot on 52 points, only 5 points off of the league behind Duisburg. Ingolstadt leaped over us with that victory. They're on 56 points, and Osnabrück is just 1 point ahead of us. They do have a game in hand, and it's not going to be their next game because their next game is against us. Luckily for us, Osnabrück has played their game in hand before our matchup, and they fell at home to Dynamo Dresden. A 16th minute goal by Patrick Wyrock was all that Dresden needed. So where we stand right now is where we were before. Osnabrück on 53 points, sitting in 3rd place. We are on 52. RW Essen is hot on our heels on 51. Freiburg 2 behind them with 50 points. So only 7 points separating 1st from 6th place right now, and then a bunch of teams on 45 points that could make a push in Elversberg, Dynamo Dresden, and Wehem Wiesbaden. Wehem Wiesbaden is going to be our second match today on the episode, but first, Osnabrück is what is on tap. While we've been preparing for our match against Osnabrück, our 2023 youth intake has taken place. 6 players that we have identified as top talents, and they are as follows. Fabrice Keller, obviously German, 15 years old, can work basically any position up the middle, from central defender up through center mid. Pretty good potential future leadership. He does know how to jump, although his heading could use a little bit of work. Standing at 6'2", 156 pounds. We'll see where he develops. But it looks like he's going to be a team player, very consistent, very technically minded. At least that's what they say. Rezart Iseni is a striker and a striker only, standing at 5'10", 134 pounds. Hope he bulks up a little bit before his 16th birthday. Perhaps. He does have a lot of natural fitness, a lot of growth I think we're going to need to see out of him. Pretty good movement. He's adept with both feet, very strong left and right, so he's ambidextrous. I don't know what the actual word is for being able to play well with both feet. Also very naturally sharp, a nice young striker. There's Gianmarco De Simone, 15-year-old Italian, 5'11", 145 pounds. Essentially, a defender can play either in the center or on the right-hand side. Most likely on the right-hand side, doesn't really have a lot of speed that we would need for that coverage in the center back position. We'll see. Like, all of these guys are very raw talents, and we'll see how they develop over the next couple of years or what they may be worth as we move down the road. We've got our right winger, Kwame Fosu-Mensah. And this guy's got a little bit of speed on him. Only 5'7". Decent job dribbling. He's going to need to work on his passing if he's going to be working on the outside in our system. But he is versatile. He can play basically anywhere down the right-hand side. He can also move over to the left side, although more of an inverted winger, I think, on that side. But that's okay, because that's the kind of system that we have come to play here. Lars Ruthenbeck, also a winger, can play the right or the left-hand side. He is a short king, 5'4", 121 pounds, the 15-year-old German. Excellent first touch. He is very technically gifted, a bit aggressive on the ball, nice acceleration, which doesn't quite match the pace, so he's very quick to get started, and hopefully he can build enough of a gap if they're going to catch up to him there. But another right winger in Lars Ruthenbeck. And finally, Lewis Bartle, this time a winger on the left side. He actually could play any position on the left and in the middle on the attack as well. Great crosser, lots of flair, making good decisions, very determined player. His passing, crossing are his best attributes, though. He also looks for the pass rather than attempting to score. So this is the kind of guy that we like. So we're going to be keeping a very close eye on Lewis Bartle as we make our way through the years, as he progresses, as he gets a little bit older. But we are all set now for our battle for the playoff position of what team may have the opportunity to be promoted into the second Bundesliga. Both 1860 Munich and Osnabrück coming off wretched 1-0 losses. We are at home, though, so I do fancy our chances. We're going to make one change in the squad from the team that lost 1-0 just a week ago, and that means Kleinhassel is going to be back in at left back. He was spelled for one game by Philipp Steinhardt as we were trying to just, give our guys a little bit of a rest, try to switch things around a little bit. So Hiller is going to be in goal. It's going to be Kleinhassel, Verlat, Morgalla, and Podolski on the back line. Rieder and Diekman in the midfield. Vernetzi and Skenderovic, the wingers, and up the middle, it will be Holzhauer and Finn Lachenmacher. Finn Lachenmacher, again, having scored 6 goals in the last 3 matches that he has participated in. He is absolutely red hot, and so were we. We had won 3 in a row before dropping that 1-0 decision literally at the last second against Ingolstadt last week. It's a match we should be winning, so let's make sure that we do that. We are at home, and we have a near perfect record at home. Yeah, we don't win everything, but we have not lost at home in a long time. Or if we have, it's been once since September. We have had a fantastic home record so far this season, and that's what has been keeping us close. We may drop a few points, but we don't drop them all when we're playing at the Grunwalder Stadion. And we're going to start up with it. Osnabrück is in the black. It's Wuff bringing up the left-hand side. He'll stop late in the middle for Neiman. Challenged, moves past his man, throws it on goal, but that's going to go well wide. It will be a goal kick for 1860 Munich. So we are in our white jerseys. Osnabrück is in the black. Kleinhassel to throw it in, gets it back from Holzhauer. He'll play it into the middle for Verlat. Ahead, looking for his man, but Neiman picks it off. Pass intercepted, though, by Kleinhassel as we go back the other way. Holzhauer, Vernetzi in the middle. He's got Yannick Diekman getting it back for Vernetzi, charging up the left-hand side. In the middle, he's taken down. It's going to be a penalty, and Holzhauer is going to step up to the spot with the opportunity to put 1860 Munich up 1 just 8 minutes into this match. He drills it. Going left, the goaltender guessed correctly, but he wasn't able to stop it. The 8th goal of the season for Raphael Holzhauer, who has been fantastic for us coming in on loan this season. So he's not going to be here beyond the season unless we can work out some kind of a deal. But usually I find in my experience with Football Manager is that when you bring a player in on loan, they are one player. And then when you bring them in permanently, it's a different situation. Morgalla on the header. That would have been perfect but it hits the post. Reeder was offside somehow. How can you be offside on a corner kick? I don't understand. Maybe the header from Morgalla bounced off him or something, and he was in an offside position. Litbarski to take a corner kick. Knocked away by Hiller. I don't like when they punch it clear because it just leaves the team vulnerable. Sent in from outside. That's going to be too strong. 25 minutes in. It's still 1-0, 1860 Munich. We have not only overtaken Osnabrück, they've dropped down into 5th place because SC Freiburg is currently winning 1-0 against Waldorf Mannheim. And 2 minutes are going to be added on at the end of the half. And I think we are going to go into halftime with no further activity. Osnabrück taking the action to us. They have 11 shots on goal to our 5, even though we held possession for 2/3 of the match. The important thing, though, is the 9th minute penalty shot by Raphael Holzhauer has made this a 1-0 game in favor of 1860 Munich and has put Munich in, as of right now, that all-important playoff position. So we're ready to get the second half underway, and right now it still seems to be, possession-wise at least, all 1860 Munich. We've held the ball 65% of the time. Eskune's going to send it long. Knocked down, but Neiman gains control. Ahead for Heigl. Rough touch there is taken away by Morgalla. Skenderovic leaves it for Podolski, pushing it toward the outside. He gets past one man, carrying it up the sideline. Still going, trying to lay it into the box. Opie ranges back and is able to send it forward. Verlat nodding it down as far as Chateau. His pass intercepted by Kleinheisel. Vernetzi's got it. He's got Lachenmacher behind the defense. And Lachenmacher with his 19th goal of the year to put Munich up 2-0, except wait. Lachenmacher, yeah, he just strayed offsides. The assistant referee's flag is up. It was a great shot by Lachenmacher. Perfect delivery. Unfortunately, the foul was committed before he ever touched the ball. So it's back to 1-0 as we make our way towards the 60-minute mark. Corner for Litbarski. That's going to be headed away easily. Traore, though, controls it. Litbarski again, trying to send it in the middle. Heigl, again, putting a header off the post, second post that Osnabrück has hit so far this afternoon. And we like to joke that 1860 Munich is Snakebit FC with all of the woodwork that we have hit throughout the year. So far, it's working out in our favor this time. Osnabrück has hit the post not once, but twice, as 1860 Munich looking to control in the middle third. Morgalla plays it up for Diekman. In the 65th minute, Morgalla gets it back. He'll put it in the middle for Verlat. Back for Morgalla. Passing it back and forth, waiting for an opening. They find one in Podolski. Threading it ahead. Skenderovic in the middle. He can't find Lachenmacher. Giamfli is able to put it out to Neyman, who lays it back for Opie. Sending it long. Morgalla ahead for Reeder. Diekman. Skenderovic moving past his man. Put the Holzhauer in the middle, and there's Raphael Holzhauer's 9th of the year. He's got the brace tonight. Great defensive play, but unfortunately, an errant ball into the middle of the box for Osnabrück was picked up by 1860 Munich. So Opie made a great play on Skenderovic, but the ball comes loose, comes straight to Raphael Holzhauer, who is able to put it past the goalkeeper to give Munich the 2-0 lead. So controlling the possession, Osnabrück remains controlling the shots on goal as we're going to look to make some changes as we have some tired legs out on the pitch. Albion Vernetzi had a little bit of a knock during training. He's fine for this week, but we're going to give him a little bit of a break as Martin Kobylanski is going to come in for him. Tim Reeder has done a yeoman's job, and Marco Manhart will take his spot. In fact, we're going to replace the entire midfield as Yannick Diekman's going to come up in place of Kieran Moll. We're actually going to swap those two around, have Marco Manhart play more of that segundo volante role, and have Moll be a more defensive midfielder as we look to try to hold things in the final 15 minutes. We're going to go a little bit narrower. We're going to knock down the directness of our pass and the tempo. We'll waste a little bit of time. We're going to work it into the box instead of hitting those crosses, and we're going to be more disciplined as far as our creative freedom is concerned. I'll drop off that high press just a tad, press a little less often, and we're not going to be there. We're going to try to trap them on the outside as well. And then when we lose possession, we're going to regroup and try our best to hold our shape as we slow the pace down as the goalkeeper will release, and we're going to give him a little bit more freedom of where he's going to distribute the ball from here on out, because we do expect Osnabrück to press a little bit more in these final 10 minutes as they're really trying to press the advantage, go a little bit more on the attack. So we're going to go just a tad bit more defensive, just a tad. We're already playing a semi-defensive mode, more of a counter-attacking type of thing when we can. 3 minutes added on, and they are going to expire. It will be full time, and it is 1860 Munich holding serve at home over Osnabrück 2-0 to take over third place in the division. What a great job, everybody. We've moved into a playoff position. We are in third, still 5 points off of the lead of Duisburg. They're sitting on 60 points. They beat Dortmund 2 by a score of 1-0 on a 54th minute goal by Wilhelmsen. Ingolstadt remains ahead of us, sitting on 57 points after a 0-0 draw against SV Meppen. But third place is a great place for us to be right now. So next on the docket is a matchup with a mid-table squad in Wehen Wiesbaden. It's happening on the road. As you can see from your screen, we have moved down into fourth place by virtue of a midweek victory. SC Freiburg, we now have a game in hand on them, but they are now 2 points ahead of us on 57 points. That really hasn't changed anything for us because, as we've talked about a few times in this series, SC Freiburg being a reserve squad, they cannot be promoted. So that spot would still be ours, as if you can kind of tell, we are highlighted in that blue. So we are still in that playoff position, but we are looking to cement things. We are looking to get into the automatic promotion position and second place. We can leapfrog Ingolstadt with a victory and obviously a loss for them. They're at home against VfB Oldenburg, but we're just going to worry about our own business as we move in against Wehen Wiesbaden. We are making 0 changes to the squad. It's going to be Hiller, Kleinhassel, Verlat, Morgalla, Podolski, Rieder, Diekman, Vernetzi, Skenderovic, Holzhauer, and Lockenmacher. There's no sense in messing with the sauce that we have been successful with moving forward. We've now won 4 of our last 5 matches, including our last match on the road. Well, not our last match, but the match before the last one on the road. 4 out of 5. We are in strong form right now. While Wehen Wiesbaden has been inconsistent, they have lost 3 of their last 5 and only won once in that span. So we're looking to carry over our performance, remain in the promotion spot. At the worst, in the playoff spot, at best, we could be seeking automatic promotion. We're not going to worry about Ingolstadt. We're not going to worry about Freiburg 2. We're not going to worry about Osnabrück. We're not worrying about any of them. Of course, we will be keeping an eye on those scores as we move forward. But for right now, it's just us. Vernetzi in the middle. That one's going to be cleared away. Only as far as Rieder, though. Kleinhassel ahead for Vernetzi in the middle. Skenderovic scores, but he was offside. Vernetzi was offside. The referee's flag went up. They blew that whistle awfully quickly. But 1860 Munich already starting this match off with the lion's share of possession, and the 2 shots on goal in the match so far through the first 15 minutes have belonged to TSV 1860 Munich. We're hoping that we can keep that pressure on as we've now held the ball 65% of the time. Vernetzi trying to chase it down. Goppel near side for Fechner, carrying it forward. Vernetzi's ranging back, doing a great job stepping in front and stealing it out of the way. Verlat near side for Kleinhassel. Vernetzi, heavy touch, taken away by Toffelheimer. Jakobsen now. Intercepted by Podolski. Skenderovic has it. Back for Podolski as he moves it forward. He's got room in front of him. Flipping it ahead. Can he find a man? No, it's going to trickle in on Stritzel, who will pick that one up and send it long. Wirtz now. He's got numbers the other way. Goppel cutting in. Goppel alone beating the goalkeeper Hiller. And, Goppel picking up his first goal of the match. Wehen Wiesbaden at home has taken a 1-0 lead, and they are looking for more. Free kick, headed away. Holzhauer pops it up. Lockenmacher pushing it forward. It's taken by Toffel shorter there. Goppel's got it. Into the middle. Patagian puts it wide. Took me a second to... Too many vowels, or too many consonants in that name. But Ivan Pertagen missing wide. So now the last two opportunities in this half have gone the way of Wien Wiesbaden. They have taken the lead. We need to calm things down and be okay. Osnabrück is losing to Elversberg 1-0. Ingolstadt still 0-0 against VfB Oldenburg. So right now we are holding where we started in fourth place, still 5 points behind the leaders, which are now Ingolstadt. First half is over. The Koppel goal is the only goal of the match. We still outshot them 6-3. We still outpossessed them 2-1. We just haven't done what we need to do, which is put the biscuit in the basket. And to start the second half, Wien Wiesbaden is going to have the ball. Eze, near side, playing it forward for Popovic. Podolski can't settle it down. Pritchin got it, blocked once, blocked twice, and finally cleared by Kleinhassel. Lachenmacher knocking it down, but sent forward again by Wien Wiesbaden. Goppels got it along the far side, throwing it in the middle. Verlat will clear it. Kleinhassel puts it out into touch. It's going to be a throw-in, and Wien Wiesbaden right now is the dominant team. Stritzel will send it long, looking for Popovic. He's going to head it down. Morgalla will chase it, but he gives it away. Prutzen, save made by Hiller. It's going to trickle. Prutzen again with the attempt, puts it in the side netting. That is the second time in the last 5 games that Leandro Morgalla has made a very, very poor defensive decision and gotten lackluster with his possession, and that does not make me feel good. So, Morgalla, I'm sorry, man. I'm really sorry. Daniel Vine is going to come in and take your spot at center back, and we may need to make a change. Maybe not a permanent change. Maybe we just need to send some kind of a message, but we're going to need to make a change as Fabian Greilinger is going to come in for Venezia, who is still nursing that injury, still working on his recovery, not having the greatest game, and also being a little bit tired. And Finn Lachenmacher also not having a great game. He's really not getting that service up front, but 2 changes to be made. But we may be looking more long-term, or more short-term, I should say, at Leandro Morgalla maybe getting a game off. Ingolstadt is beating Oldenburg 2-0, which is not good news for us. Sent far post, and there it is. Ahmet Gürleyen, far post off of the corner. And it's 2-0 Wien Wiesbaden with just 9 minutes left in this match. We have 5 shots in the second half. We're being outshot by Wien Wiesbaden. We are losing to Wien Wiesbaden, and we have lost to Wien Wiesbaden. We beat the teams that should beat us, and the teams that we should beat, we are ineffective against. And we win 1-2-0. We lose 1-2-0. The universe has once again drawn into balance. Good news is we're still in the same position we were. We have a goal difference advantage on RW Essen, but that's it. That is the only thing right now that is keeping us in a playoff spot. Still 5 points off the top of the table. That is held by Ingolstadt and Duisburg. SC Freiburg, we're going to set them aside. But the automatic positions are moving further and further away. And possibly the playoff position as well. We only have 7 matches left. And the biggest one, I think, is going to be against RW Essen. So we're going to have a bigger than normal episode to end the week. Next episode, RW Essen, Waldorf Mannheim, and FSV Zwickau, as the regular season is going to come to a close for 1860 Munich. And it's do or die for us. Thank you once again for being a part of this journey. If you like that, please give it a big thumbs up. Tell all of your friends. The more views we get, the bigger the channel gets, and the more FM23 content we can bring you. Also, make sure that you subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when any of that content is going to hit YouTube. And we do look forward to seeing you next time on the next episode of Lionhearted, the return of 1860 Munich. Until then, bye-bye.